Amelia's heels clicked sharply on the polished marble floor as she strode toward the glass doors of Hartwell Enterprises. The office was quiet, yet tension hung in the air like a storm cloud. She had spent 5 years as the personal secretary to Celeste Hartwell, the self-made millionaire CEO whose beauty and charm masked a reputation for arrogance that could turn the strongest employee into a nervous wreck. Celeste was all sharp suits, sharper words, and a gaze that could slice through steel. Amelia had endured countless late nights, endless demands, and subtle digs about her ambition, or lack thereof. But today was different. Today, she felt an unfamiliar fire. A fire that told her she deserved more than hushed apologies after hours of work or silent sighs as Celeste dismissed her opinions. Her hand hovered over the elevator button. She remembered the morning when Celeste had mocked her presentation, calling it cute but insufficient. It wasn't just the criticism, it was the way Celeste's smirk had lingered, as though Amelia were beneath her, as though every word she said was some minor inconvenience. Amelia's phone buzzed. A text from her best friend flashed, "You deserve a world where no one makes you feel small." Amelia's joy tightened. She realized she had been tiptoeing around someone who had grown dependent on her presence, yet never truly appreciated her. As the elevator doors slid open, she made a choice. No more quiet acceptance. No more swallowed frustrations. Today, she would step into Celeste's office not as a subordinate, but as a woman ready to reclaim her dignity. And perhaps, to confront the unspoken tension that had always lingered between them. The office smelled of expensive leather and faint coffee, a scent Amelia had memorized over the years. Celeste sat at her desk, her posture regal, her fingers drumming lightly on a crystal paperweight. She glanced up and raised a perfectly sculpted brow. "Amelia, you're late," she said, though her tone held curiosity rather than anger. Amelia's chest rose with determination. "I'm not late, Celeste. I'm exactly where I should be," she replied evenly, stepping closer. The air around them seemed to crackle. Celeste tilted her head, studying Amelia with a smile that was part amusement, part intrigue. "Oh? And where exactly is that?" "This office," Amelia said, her voice steady. "But I'm not here to answer to you anymore." Celeste blinked, the smirk faltering for the first time in years. "Excuse me." Amelia let herself sit in the chair opposite Celeste, a bold move that made the air shift. "I've spent years catering to your every whim, ignoring my own needs, and pretending your arrogance is just charm. I've had enough. I'm done being small." There was a pause. Then Celeste leaned back, swirling her glass of wine, a habit Amelia had never noticed she indulged in during office hours. "Interesting," Celeste murmured, her voice softer now, laced with curiosity rather than dominance. "And what exactly do you plan to do?" Amelia leaned forward, her gaze steady. "I plan to show you that I am not just your secretary. I am a woman with boundaries. And perhaps, I plan to show you what you've been missing all this time." Celeste's lips curved into a slow, knowing smile. "Bold. Dangerous. I like it." The next day, Amelia arrived at the office with a plan. She had spent the night crafting her strategy, not a resignation, not a confrontation, but something that would leave Celeste stunned and intrigued. At 10 o'clock sharp, she entered Celeste's office carrying a small, neatly wrapped box. "For you," she said softly. Celeste arched a brow. "Is this some kind of apology?" she asked, leaning back in her chair. Amelia shook her head. "No. Consider it a demonstration." Carefully, she opened the box to reveal a delicate perfume bottle, a scent neither too overpowering nor too subtle. "It's custom-made. I know your taste." Celeste leaned forward, intrigued. "You made this?" Yes, Amelia said. I created something beautiful, something that stands out without needing anyone's approval. Just like me. Celeste's eyes softened slightly, though the faint smirk lingered. You've grown confident, she said. Daring, even. And I must admit, it's very attractive. Amelia met her gaze steadily. The air between them was electric, charged with years of unspoken tension and admiration. Attractive enough to make you realize what you've been ignoring, she whispered. Celeste chuckled softly, a sound that sent shivers down Amelia's spine. Perhaps. Or maybe it's enough to make me want more. Amelia's boldness had worked. She had disrupted the delicate balance of their professional relationship, leaving Celeste intrigued and, for the first time, vulnerable. Weeks passed, and the dynamic in the office changed subtly but noticeably. Celeste began to look at Amelia differently, lingering glances, soft smiles, and the rare compliments slipped in between meetings. One rainy evening, the office was empty. Amelia was finishing up some files when Celeste appeared in the doorway, drenched from the storm outside. Without hesitation, Amelia offered her coat and a towel, and Celeste accepted, their hands brushing in a moment that made Amelia's heart skip. You know, Celeste murmured, shaking off the rain, I've underestimated you for far too long. Amelia smiled. Underestimation ends today. Celeste moved closer, her usual arrogance softened into something else, something warmer, more intimate. Do you know how long I've wanted to do this? She asked, before capturing Amelia's lips in a searing kiss that left both of them breathless. The kiss was electric, a release of years of tension, frustration, and unspoken desire. Amelia responded with equal passion, letting herself be swept into the moment without hesitation. When they finally broke apart, the world outside seemed distant, as though time itself had paused to acknowledge their connection. So, Celeste said, her voice husky, this is your bold move? Amelia grinned, a mischievous glint in her eye. And it's only the beginning. From that night on, their relationship was a careful dance between desire and restraint. The office remained a professional environment, but outside those walls, they explored a new world of intimacy. Candlelit dinners, whispered conversations, and secret touches in hallways became their language. Yet Amelia never lost her boldness. She challenged Celeste in every way, questioning her decisions, teasing her, and daring her to reveal more of her vulnerable side. Celeste, for her part, welcomed it. She found herself drawn to Amelia's courage, her independence, and the fearless way she expressed herself. One evening, while working late together, Amelia leaned back in her chair, watching Celeste struggle with a stack of financial reports. Need a hand? She asked softly. Celeste shook her head, though her hands trembled slightly. No, I've got this, but I might need a reward afterward. Amelia raised an eyebrow. A reward? Celeste stepped closer, their proximity igniting a familiar heat. Yes, for being brilliant, resourceful, irresistible. Amelia laughed softly, leaning forward to capture her lips again. Months later, Amelia sat across from Celeste at a quiet cafe, sunlight streaming over them. The world felt lighter, freer. Their relationship had transformed both of them. Amelia had found her strength, and Celeste had discovered the beauty of surrendering control, even if only to someone worthy. You changed everything, Amelia, Celeste said, taking her hand. I thought I knew power, but you've shown me a new kind, one that's not about money, not about control, but about love, trust, and courage. Amelia squeezed her hand, a soft smile on her lips. I didn't change you, Celeste. I just reminded you who you could be when someone sees you, not just your power, but your heart. Celeste leaned in, their their foreheads touching, the world falling away once again. "And I see you," she whispered, completely, boldly, beautifully. Amelia laughed softly, a sound filled with contentment. "Then let's never stop being bold, together." They kissed, sealing their love with a promise, one that neither arrogance nor fear could ever break. And in that moment, the secretary who had dared